to like your own Gmail account or something like that. That way, if you ever lose access to your corporate company
There you
email,
go.
you still have that stuff in your personal Gmail account or whatever,
All right.
account that you're using. So, and I
Right.
do want to say shout out to Kay. I saw you drop $20 on Victoria yesterday. Don't think I missed that. So hello to Kay, saying salute to all three of you awesome women. And I
Oh,
wasn't saying that so you would super chat us here. I just wanted to point out
Say it with your chest. Say it with your chest, girl.
and say shout out to you because I saw you did that. I paid attention. So Minnie is saying yes, the blind carbon yes,
that's right.
yes. Make sure that you have everything, every good thing, especially every good thing in that Gmail account because yeah, they do get amnesia. They certainly do.
It's true.
So
Mhm.
um, okay, Mentor Shelley, go on.
Yeah. Corporate culture. Oh, please, please pay attention to how people do things in the company and how things are maneuvered. You have to watch who gets promoted, who doesn't, why, and how the corporate culture dictates that. Pay attention to how things work. Just don't just go whining on TikTok. It's corporate culture. It's this. No. Number one, be very careful what you put online. Let's start there. Because if you have things still in your government name, they can find it. And it can be used against you in the court of opinion when they're doing promotions. And somebody that don't like you saw a video and went, oh, have you seen this? I'll send you the link. Don't put yourself in that precarious, unnecessary position, folks. Talk to your peoples in your life and do not always bring everything, every little thought in your head on the internet. Please don't. I know Gen Z has a problem with that. I know they grew up with the Facebook and the Instagram and the TikTok and the YouTube, wherever we are right now. But not everything belongs on social media. Okay. Um, Corporate culture. Understand how things work. In one corporate culture, if you attend after work events, you're looked at as, oh, you're a team player. Which, to be quite honest, after I leave work, I don't want to see y'all because I got to see y'all for 8 hours already. I'm just being, I'm just being transparent. But in some corporate cultures, in order for you to get ahead, that's that's the unspoken word, what they require. So understand what your corporate culture actually dictates. And if you're looking to truly be promoted, there's you have to suffer through some things.
Yeah. And
Um,
some industries are like that. Finance industry in particular, if you're
Insurance.
not out, yeah, if you're not out at the happy hours, you're not out
Mhm,
at the networking events, you're not
mhm,
schmoozing with the clients after hours.
mhm.
Yes. There used to be, I know within like a lot of venture capital and investment bankers, if you weren't going out to the strip clubs with the fellas, a lot of women were complaining about that 20 years ago. I don't know if that's still a big thing or not. Golf is another big thing. There are
Mm-hmm.
certain industries where, in corporate
Mhm.
cultures, where if you're not out on the golf course, 18 holes with the fellas, you will lose out on promotable tasks and things like that. So, what Mentor
That's
Shelley is
true.
saying is very important, which goes to my number 8 as well. So, but let Mentor Shelley finish, and then Victoria had a question, and then I'm going to tell y'all what my number 8 is. So,
All right. One last thing, attrition. It should, fir- first of all, whenever I coach any of my clients, you should have all your research done by the company before you even do the interview. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you should have some idea of attrition overall. But I love the question Victoria had. Oh, so how long was this person in this position? Did they get promoted into the position? Were they hired for it?
Mm-hmm.
Some people that you interview with tend to get a little stiff because I know I've been in interviews where I think I asked one too many questions and the face quickly turned funny on me.
Damn.
But I wanted to know. Inquiring minds want to know. Just like you're interviewing me, I'm interviewing you too. And based on that, I didn't want to be there anyway. So, yeah, the fact that I asked some
another
relevant
reason
questions.
another reason to live at home because you're
Mhm.
not desperate for that job. So I
No,
just want to
Right.
say that as well. Go
Right.
ahead,
no,
Mentor Shelley.
you
And I
know,
want to say, hey, Pam, good to see
Hey,
you, my girl.
Tam.
how you doing? Yeah, you want to make sure that you're asking the right questions. So, to add to what Victoria did say, oh, so how long are they in the position? If they say 6 months, okay, I was like, okay. Um, oh, they left because they had a family emergency. That might not be a concern. But if my next question is, so how long was the other person in that position? 3 months. In my mind, I'm looking at you sideways. Just saying. Because if you can't keep one person in the position for a year, maybe it's not the people in the position, maybe it's the company or the position. Exactly. So, if that's the problem, I may not need to be here either. So, and there's some other questions you can ask to get that information, but those are things I discuss in salary negotiation and interview coaching. So that's all I have for all of the points you've given so far.
All right. Victoria, you have another question before I jump into my next
Mm-hmm.
couple?
Yeah, I liked what you two were saying about the training and talking about that and actually negotiating because you're going to stand out as a candidate just saying that, like,
Mhm.
because they know you're business minded, right? But you're so business minded. And it's like you're so business minded, you're doing a Jedi mind trick where you're making them feel like you are going to work your tail off because you're saying, look, I'm taking a risk by asking you this, but what's the budget like? Can I get that training? Because man, I want to succeed at this job.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
credit
not
solution
only
is whoo.
that, it
That makes me
actually,
excited.
as an employer, it's actually better to have a candidate who wants the training.
Correct.
Because if they want the training, they're going to take the job seriously. They're going to
Right.
do the job better. They're going to do it more effectively, et cetera, et cetera. So um,
Okay.
it does set you apart. Like they are more than happy to invest 10 to 15
Mm-hmm.
grand a year in you per year in training. And with that
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
kind of budget, most of us, most industries, you could get a lot of training, a lot
Mhm.
of higher level, higher end training. And don't forget, in those training sessions, you're not only learning technical skills, that is a magnet for networking. If I go into something that costs $5,000 for 2 days, I
Mm-hmm.
want to know everybody else in there because those are
Mhm.
what your future co-workers, people you can network with in the industry that
Facts.
works at other
Yep.
places,
Yep.
etc. That's how you actually do. That goes to my number 7, um, which is like networking once a week. Oh, did you have a question, Victoria? You just want to make that
I know. I
comment?
just realized I didn't even ask my question. I was
Okay.
gonna say, so in y'all's experience, does every company have a mandatory budget for training?
No,
And
No.
then
most don't.
for the ones that do, like how much of that money gets wasted annually, would you say?
A
Like what
lot.
percentage of the
A
budget?
lot of people don't take their budget, like their training budget. Most people don't take their training budget.
That's insane, man.
And
That's
it so
insane.
typically with smaller companies and startups and some medium-sized companies, you don't have a training budget at all. When you get to
Okay.
larger companies, they will have a training budget for every employee. The
Okay.
problem with what I've seen, so with the larger companies that I worked with,
Hmm.
now
Right.
this was back in the mid 2000s, they would have like a $2,000, $2,500 training budget,
Okay.
which is nothing today. So I would go in there and I would negotiate a higher budget if
Right.
I were my young ladies listening to this. Because so you want to
Right.
hear what the training budget is. And in my opinion, if it's not 10 to 15,000, you need to be negotiating more money for training.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like small companies within the company that I work with now, I work is 3 of us in the company. I
Mhm.
negotiated my training budget. Well, actually, I don't have a training budget. I was just like, I want to do training. I want to do this and this. And my boss was like, yeah, okay, no problem. That I have a corporate credit card. So
I
Also,
like
there is
what
no
Alonzo
reason
said there.
no, I mean,
not.
no, but I'm not like, stupid with the money, but no, but I'll
Mhm.
say to him, oh, this is the $1,500 thing I want to take care. And I look, I earned that back for him. So he's
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, okay, go ahead, take it, you
And that's
know.
how you proposition it to them. You basically say, look, because, okay, I love what you said because that does tie into the whole go into the job for training versus the income.
Mhm.
Because if you don't get it from that job, you got to go do it in the real world, which means that's coming out of your pocket, baby. I'm telling you, like, I mentor Shelly knows because I already told her, like, I'm learning that I know how to sell, and I did not believe that
Mhm.
for so many years of my life. How did I just realize that in 6 months?
Yeah, selling is a great skill. Tam is saying I've seen 50-50. So Tam's worked in a lot of places as well. And anybody, if you are in tech, if you want to be in tech, go see Tam over at Women in Linux. I
Yep.
cannot
Mm-hmm.
say that enough. Just the stuff she has on YouTube, she gives so much information how you can get to $300,000 salary. Like, so I can't say it enough.
Talk
Go see
about it.
Tam. She's saying I've seen 50-50 startups have a training budget around 5K, and then some have money for a PhD. Well, I'm
Mm.
telling so because Tam is in tech,
Yeah.
I'm not surprised that they will have startups that have money for you to get a lot of education. I would also venture a guess that those PhDs are probably more in business management more
Okay.
so than like cybersecurity or anything like that. That's my guess. Tam can let me know if I'm wrong. They probably have that money in there for people who are going to have leadership or business skills. So
Leadership,
um,
conflict resolution.
Alonzo is I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, leadership or like conflict resolution and stuff like that.
Mhm. Yeah.
Mm.
Alonzo's in the building saying, how about training, tuition reimbursement? We had talked
I
about
love
that.
that. Love
Denise,
it.
you are not late, my dear. You are always on time. Can't wait to listen to the rebroadcast. Good for you. Tam is saying summer systems engineering. Okay, so that makes sense as well. So some of the PhDs in systems engineering. Yeah.
Should we
Um,
skirt college and just go to jobs that give tuition reimbursement?
I think it depends on the person.
Okay.
Sometimes you're able to get into those jobs that have tuition reimbursement.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you're not.
Right.
And that's okay as well. Sometimes you just have to start college and work. If in my opinion, this is just my opinion,
Mm.
Mhm.
most of these upwardly mobile careers like accounting, actuarial science, systems engineering, things like that, even
Mm-hmm.
if you have a student loan, let's say 30, 40,000, you can still pay that off in a few years of working regular jobs in your 20s. By the time you're age 28, you could still be done paying off the student loan. So I would not want my up. So number one is it's great if you're able to go someplace and get that tuition reimbursement or
Mm-hmm.
get school paid for. But if you are not, I wouldn't want a young lady to not go to college because the men on YouTube, let's be real, are scaring you out of the debt. The other reason why I'm nervous about, and I've always said this, about telling young, upwardly mobile Black women to skip college is
Mm.
because let's say that you get into corporate America, you start working, but you don't have a college degree. And then you get married, you have a couple of babies, and all of a sudden you're 35, 40 years old and you have an opportunity to get promoted or something like that, but you
Mhm.
don't have the college degree. It is infinitely harder for you to stop your life, kids, husband, all of that, to go back to college. Whereas when you were 18, 19, 20 years old, I'm a
Mhm.
fan of, get your bachelor's degree. I'm not telling you to get a master's and all of that. Just a simple associate's or a simple bachelor's degree, just so you can have it so you're not 35, 40 years old. He's leaving you. You've been on the side.
Dang.
I, This
Girl.
all of this
Reality
is
though.
all of this is correlated and interrelated, right?
True.
So you dropped two babies, maybe you had a tough second pregnancy, all of that, and then he's like, "Deuces, I'm out," and you're like, now what? So
True.
that's just me. That's just me.
I know. I after you said that, I think I need to clarify. I was saying, don't go to college and get the job with tuition reimbursement, so they pay for your education and you don't have to. So I
If if
wasn't. I
if
wasn't
it
saying go sit
yes,
down and have babies. I just needed to clarify.
yeah,
We know that.
I was saying don't pay for the money out of your pocket or get a student loan.
if you have.
Instead, get the job that you know offers tuition reimbursement to get your degree.
We know
So
that.
that goes back to my discussion of get the job with the training included in it. So training being included in it is your college degree being
I
paid
think
for.
parents need to start telling their kids that because Gen Z is pretty smart, and I think that
Mhm.
they would listen. I do.
Yeah.
I think some of them anyway. Some of
As
them
long
would.
as the environment is not toxic, definitely do that. Yeah. So
Good.
That
Alonzo
part.
was saying, and when you say small companies, are you speaking of work size or annual revenue? For me, it's workforce size. So for
Workforce.
me, I would say 20 people or less. Now, I know that small business is 500 people or less in the United States, but I'm not talking about a 500-person business. I'm talking like you got 10 people in an office. You
Right.
got 10 people in an office, you're going to be handed a lot of stuff that you would not normally be given the opportunity to do at
Yep.
a company with 400 people. You just
That's
you just wouldn't be given those opportunities. So that's what I'm talking about. So um Minnie is saying professional training comes out of my small business expenses, not my personal finances, which it should. It should, because you get that as a tax deduction. So let's see what you all are saying in here. NC Worker is in the building. Hello.
no.
Purple
Hey.
Rain is saying Disney has 100% tuition reimbursement. So does
Mm.
Starbucks have it with Arizona State University.
Wow.
Government has tuition reimbursement. This is
They do.
true. This
Mhm.
is true. However, if your man Trump gets in, y'all are probably gonna get laid off. So, plan for that.
Ow!
I know. I know.
Real.
And no, a man is not a plan. No, it isn't.
Can you
Listen,
no,
girl, say it again.
hold up, please, please, please press pause and say that about 20 more times, please.
What, a man is not a plan?
I'll
Can we raise our hands, lady? We know a man is not a plan. Okay.
And look, I'm even saying this as a woman who is a widow. I did not divorce. My husband died. Anything could happen to your husband. He could become disabled. Anything could happen to him. So he could just become an asshole.
I
I
was
don't know.
just about to say that. I'm like, girl, he could get hit with the stupid stick overnight.
He could.
Girl.
He could. Yeah. So let's see what you all are saying. Uh yeah, we're gonna get some t-shirts. That mini, that would be great for your,
Oh
because
my
I know
God,
you
that
do
would be
affiliate
great.
marketing. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna just say number 7 and 8 right here. Um with regards to, so I have 11 pieces of advice for people who just came in. Number 7 is I suggest you network once a week. Network once a week. I cannot say this enough. 2024, 2025, 2026, and beyond, your network is going to be more important than your skills. I've been preaching it, I've been saying it. You can go to meetups, you can go to Eventbrite, you
Yeah.
can also, through your corporation, they, depending on the kind of job you have, they may give you money for networking. They may give you money to join the professional industry association
Right.
in your city or in
Right.
your county. Join it.
Yeah.
Go once a month. Go every single month without fail. Meet as many people as you possibly can. Make sure those people see you over and over and over and over again. Pretty soon, they will be knocking on your door. More likely, they'll be calling you, they'll be DMing you. Hey, I like you. Purple Rain, you seem so smart and things like that, and you seem like you really know what you're doing. How much you making over at that company you're with now?
Damn.
I'll give you 90 if you come over here, work for me. You
Book
Say
think it
that
Mentor
doesn't
Shelly
happen?
first. Book Mentor Shelly first.
You think it doesn't happen? It happens all the
again.
time.
Yeah,
Employers will
for networking.
network. Now, they will watch you. They will watch you. They will watch you. They will watch you for 6 to 12 months.
Sure.
And I'll tell y'all the funniest story. I was in the gym. So I go to the gym. I'm supposed to go 6 days a week, but I'm probably there 4 days a week, right? And I'm in the middle of the gym. I'm doing my step aerobics and things like that. I'm just being Cherie, right? And there are a few people that I know because I see them all the time. Like, hey, how you doing? Et cetera, et cetera. Well,
Mhm.
one day I'm in the gym, actually about a week and a half ago, and this woman is waving at me. And I'm like, hi. I had never seen her before. And she's like, every time I see you in here, you just look so happy and nice.
Mm.
I'm telling you, people are watching you and you have no idea that they're watching you.
So true.
No idea. So as you're driving into the parking lot for these networking events, turn off the trap music. I said it. I know so let's be real.
Why it gotta be trap music?
Turn off the trap
Why
music.
it can't be Blink 182? Why it gotta be trap?
I'm speaking to the people who like the trap music, sexy red, all of that stuff. Turn it
Mm.
off, right? Before you get, because you think people are watching you in the parking lot. You think they're only watching you when you're in the networking event. That's not true.
Mhm.
So I just turn the radio off, period, right? But you know,
There you go.
even if you listen to Luther Vandross, people don't want to hear all that stuff blaring. I know I'm stepping on some toes, but I'm trying to let you know that people are watching you in the parking lot. So
Very true.
you drive in, you make sure you're professionally dressed and all that stuff we normally talk about, right?
Right.
Smile. Your biggest asset is going to be your smile. If you know, if you're scowling in the parking lot, people are going to see that and it's going to make you less approachable. All of these things, are important as you are, at the networking event. Talk to regular people you see all the time because you're going to start seeing the same people over and over again. And then talk to 2 to 3 people that you've never met before. And just
Mhm.
start off with, hey, my name is Cherie. What's your name? Oh, Shelly, it's so nice to meet you. What brought you here today? Do you know somebody? Oh, you know Victoria? I love Victoria. She's great. Tell me a little bit more about yourself, and let the person talk and just network with them. Link, say, hey, I'd love to stay connected with you. Are you on LinkedIn? Usually LinkedIn is the best place to
Yeah.
to stay connected with people, right?
Yes.
But network, network, network. I cannot say it enough. I cannot say it enough. The point of your networking is ultimately you're going to know 20 to 40 people and you want to, like, within your industry,
Mhm.
and you just want those people to basically that's your crew, that if anything goes down, if this work environment becomes toxic, if I'm just ready to make a move, I got 20 to 40 people I can DM, I can call, I can see them at the next networking event. We can
So
go, we can have lunch, we can have drinks, something like that. Hey, I'm thinking of changing, careers, or moving from my current job. What do you think? You never know. And let me tell you something. Depending on how well you network, people will be coming to you. That's all I can say is people will be coming to you saying, I really like you. We got this opening. You'll be like, I don't even qualify for that job. Don't worry about it. We got the training. We got the training budget. You're a smart person. I cannot tell you how many jobs I've gotten
mhm.
because people are like, you're a smart person. I know you'll figure it out.
And
I,
you
I,
ain't
ca-
even
I
gotta do nothing to get that
no,
sometimes.
no, you don't. So number eight, number eight, I told y'all, number eight, y'all want to stay for. Don't get pregnant, don't get pregnant, don't get pregnant.
Wow. And
Don't
since I speak for the men, don't impregnate.
And don't ever, yeah, but this channel is for upwardly mobile Black women. But yes, to all the men watching from the cyber clouds, don't impregnate any women. But for my ladies, I cannot say this enough.
Mm,
You want to throw a monkey wrench in the things that we're talking about tonight. Have a baby. Have a
no,
baby. I
no.
so um, there are a lot of people on social media that are suggesting that young women get married earlier, have kids earlier, things like that. I'm not telling you not to date. I'm not telling you not to have a boyfriend. I am suggesting that you get your footing with regards to knowing what you want to do, getting your skills together, getting your networking together before you have children. Because when we talk about networking once a week, have a baby. If you unless you have like a mother or your husband or your child's father is willing to stay with the children or the child once a week, it's hard to take the classes you want to take, go to the networking events, level up, etc. So those are the next two things. The other three are kind of connected. So um, I'll open it up to either one of you.
Shelly,
The,
I
net,
already know I got something. Go ahead, Shelly girl.
the networking is powerful.
For sure.
You, this is where, despite what your beliefs are, if you believe in God, this is where God shows favor to you. Um, Networking is powerful, and I have to do a lot better than I have been doing with networking. I was doing more of it when I just moved to another state. I definitely, since COVID, I kind of that went to a screeching halt. I must get out there belly to belly and do more networking. I'm not doing nearly enough. I do some here and there sporadically, but I absolutely need to do more. It is very powerful. You have no idea what and who you'll meet next. It could be the owner of a startup that's looking for somebody to, in my line of work, structure their department.
Mm-hmm.
In my line of work, complete their SOPs and to help them with employee relations. Now, are they looking for a full-time employee or are they looking for an HR consultant? Now, how the conversation goes, I can make the decision which one of those things I offer them. So you never know who you're going to meet. Um, and as far as young ladies and what they choose to do with their lives socially, and what they do with their lives socially can absolutely affect how they function economically. So it's very important. I'm so glad Cherie brought this up. I know it sounds a little crass. Don't get pregnant, don't get pregnant, don't get pregnant. But if you are not careful and if you don't have the proper support, that can throw a monkey wrench in your career and economic plans. And unfortunately, there are males out there that you can get with that is not on a progressive trajectory and think you're doing too much with all this career stuff. If you've ever heard that statement fly out of a young man's mouth, exit stage left. Um, Especially if you're not married to that young man, nor is he on the same trajectory as you. You have to pick somebody that is equally yoked with you. That's very
Yeah.
important.
Please
Not
don't marry a man that's not equally yoked. But
and that's not just spiritually. That's economically as well.
yes, economically, spiritually, socially, physically, mentally. Make sure you're healed. Make sure he's healed. We're going to come back to our discussion on that at some point as well.
Oh yeah.
with regards to financially vetting a man. But
Mm.
my girl here said her fallopian tubes are gone. That ain't happening.
Okay, sister.
Purple Rain said, "We strategically, this is not the time to have kids." Scarlett is saying, "I'm for B. Men are just a distraction with too much potential for my life derailment."
Woo. Woo.
Um, Purple Rain
Okay.
said, "I've also noticed that party schools are good for networking as well as especially D1 schools. They have boosters." Yeah. So look, the booster clubs, networking with the alumni parents that are great at fundraising, they network with all the wealthy parents and all those well, not all. The super majority of those wealthy parents are usually business owners who hire people. So
Woo.
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, so she said here, if a baby shows up, I'm suing the whole medical system of Canada.
I mean, it's free, so can you really? You know.
Go ahead, Victoria.
No, I do love what you said about networking because I didn't realize how valuable that was until 2019. Because I started my business loosey goosey in like 2018 and I kind of just let it sit there. But I'll never forget like the whole reason this whole thing even started for me being on YouTube, starting my business, yada yada yada. Just happened to bump into a guy at a free networking event in LA. And I'll tell the story some other day, but I remember he intentionally bumped into me because he wanted to just have a chat. And he told me that he was part of a social club, a business club in LA, and he extended the invitation and I went. I had never golfed in my life. I had never been a part of a club that had, you know, how do I even say it? Something simple, wine lockers. I had never seen that in my life. And they're like, yeah, you can have one. Well, you got to pay for it, but you can have one. I'm used to going to house parties. I'm used to going to the club. Like, that's how I networked. But he showed me this is how you do it. You know, when you have, and that's outside of work. So that's extracurricular. And there is an investment to that. Right. But thanks to Meetup, thanks to just meetups that we have as social media creator or content creators too, you can network for less than what I paid to do it. But I think that if you don't want to pay for it that way, going to school is definitely a way to network. I
Mhm.
think a lot of people miss that aspect of it because their parents maybe did not go to college and the children are the first to go into college, so they don't know how to tell them to capitalize off of that. But I wanted to say that networking is huge. Sometimes you have to become, don't wait for the invitation, but you have to set it in motion, for lack of a better term. Like you have to sign up for that meetup group. Maybe you have to fly 2 states over to go to some random mastermind or meetup that you think is just arbitrary. But you never know. You could meet the person that's going to catapult you to your first $10,000 month. You never know.
Say
Can I
I
say
mean, you
one more
never
thing about what
know.
you're saying is uh, with regards to having to pay to go to certain networking events, student discounts, a lot of these places, a lot of these networking events, a lot of these industry associations have student pricing. And
Hmm.
if you if you ask, you could get in for free to a lot of places. I will tell you, when I was a student, yes, I did. I would show up the day of at these conferences and I would say, "Look, I'm a student. I don't have any money, but I really wanted to come here. Is there any way for me to be able to come to this networking event?" You know how many times I was turned away, Victoria, from that after
Probably
saying that?
never.
Never,
Because they don't, well,
never.
number one, they don't expect it, and number two, it's like how could they say no if somebody's
Not
telling
only
me
that, yeah.
like,
So not only that, they would
yeah.
have people who pay for the conference and don't show up. So
Hmm.
they were like, "Well, we got these extra, we got these extra meals," and yeah, never. When I say never, like never, I would hop on the metro. I would go to the event and I would just
Love it.
now here's the thing. You got to show up early, right? So if the conference is, let's say, 9 to 5, I would
Mhm.
show up at 8:15, 8:20, because I want
Okay.
to get the person before like there's a huge line and all of that. So
Mm-hmm.
whenever registration is supposed to start, you get there like a half hour early.
Mm-hmm.
Now, no one ever said no. They're like, "Oh, yes, of course." Or one time I had a woman say, "Okay, can you stand over here?" And then I stood over to the side and she registered everybody else and she was like, "Okay, what's your name now? Okay, go in and you need to sit at this seat over here." I'm
Mm-hmm.
telling you, it worked. The student discounts, the I'm a poor student, can I come in? It works.
Watch it.
It
I
works.
mean, it does. People like that kind of
It's,
tenacity because it's,
yes.
and we call it audacity on my channel. And it's
Mhm,
like, you have to have that because you don't have to perform that much more to be above average.
mhm.
You don't. All you have to do is open your mouth, and people automatically, I'll say this and leave it alone. People create a story about you in their head based on that first couple of minutes that they're talking to you. So if
Mhm.
they decide you're a winner, baby.
You're a
There's
winner.
barely anything you could do to stop that. So
Yeah,
once that trajectory starts, I say keep at it. You know what I mean? I've had
yeah.
people tell me like, "Oh my God, you're a successful business lady." Da 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 da. I'd be like, "How you know that? How you know that? I ain't told you nothing." But they assume because they
Mhm.
see you're out there, you're
Confident.
boisterous. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it goes a long way. And just showing up to a networking event, number one, if you do it solo,
Mhm.
whoo,
Yes.
Showing
people
up
are
there.
watching you. People are watching you. You'll
So,
find out.
Vinny is saying here, you can also be a volunteer at the conferences. This is very true as well. You
Yes.
call them a week or two in advance. Hey, do you need somebody to
Yes.
sit at the front desk? Do you
Mhm.
need somebody? Another big
Yep.
thing is oftentimes they don't have people to like walk the speaker from like the front door to whatever
Mm-hmm.
room they're supposed to be in. If it's a larger conference, things like that. Absolutely volunteering. Absolutely.
Yep.
Purple Rain is saying a lot of
Yep.
pre-law and law school organizations give free perks and discounts. This is true. This is
Mhm.
very true. So, okay, let me. Um, I don't know if I said hello to NC Worker. I thought I did, but hey, NC Worker.
Hello,
Okay,
Nancy
so
Worker.
Hey, and see.
I've got three more. I got three more pieces of, well, actually four more pieces of advice. Number
All right.
9 is get a career coach. Mentor Shelley is
Hey.
here. Invest in your career, which is another reason you want to live at home. You want to tell mom and dad, hey, mom and dad, I want to invest. I'm going to save money, but I am going to invest in my career. I'm going to invest maybe quarterly, talking to Mentor Shelley. Hey, Mentor Shelley, this is what I've been up to. Mentor Shelley's going to ask you, great, what promotable task have you done this quarter? What promotable tasks do you want to do? Is it time for you to start thinking about getting a raise? And remember, the time to start thinking about getting a raise is 6 to 12 months before you go in to have the conversation, right? So saying to mom and dad and yourself, hey, I'm going to invest in a career coach. I'm going to invest in my career. I'm going to invest in knowing salary negotiation and things like that.
Yep.
Um, so, you want to think about where your career is headed over the next 3 to 5 years and how you're going to get there. Number 10 is invest in your physical appearance. Invest in your physical appearance. Okay. I'm not telling you go crazy. Obviously, we're upwardly mobile Black women. We're not talking about BBLs and all of that.
No, of course not.
As I'm up here with my little casual rip in my jacket, thank you very much,
Girl, that's okay.
ma'am.
It's
I am saying
See myself
invest
out.
invest in healthy food,
of course.
invest in the gym. Like investing is time and money. So you're investing your
Mhm.
time and your money
Mhm.
into going to the gym, joining the gym. Your hair care, healthy hair.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Not necessarily lace fronts with the baby hair and all of that. You're an upward, I know. You're an
Girl,
upwardly
I'm feeling
mobile,
attacked right now. You know what
girl, stop.
I'm
You're an upwardly mobile Black woman.
Right.
So perception in the eyes of the WASP men, I know people don't want, I know,
What is
but
the
people
WASP? Can
don't look.
you
WASP,
clarify?
WASP stands for White Anglo-Saxon Protestant. White Anglo-Saxon Protestant.
Mm-hmm.
For the most part, most of us are going to be employed by white Anglo-Saxon Protestant men. I know, right? So, because of that, we're thinking with regards to like not necessarily being physically appealing to them for romantic reasons, but are you going to fit into their corporate culture? Do you have the physical look to fit into their corporate culture? Okay. So, I talked about the gym, I talked about healthy food, I talked about hair care, and we also want to have like this is my natural hair, right? We also want to have like healthy hair as well, right? Um, the halo effect is real. The halo effect is basically your physical appearance. The better you look, the more money you make. And
Yep.
economists have found that attractive people earn 12 to 14% more than unattractive people. Okay. So I'm not telling you to necessarily do anything unnatural and all of that. All I'm saying is to enhance physically what you have. Be the best you can be physically. Okay. Number 11 is every 2 years maximum, you do want to think about monkey branching. You're a young, upwardly mobile Black woman. Don't be like me. Don't be like my mom, staying at a job 5, 10, 20 years, unless there's a specific reason why you are staying there.
Mm-hmm.
Your job as a young, upwardly mobile Black woman is to monkey branch. So you're either monkey branching positions or you're monkey branching jobs. And when you monkey branch jobs, you should be monkey branching salary. And the
I would
best
hope
way,
so.
I'm sorry?
I would hope
Yes, I'm just making a statement.
so.
The
Okay.
best way to monkey branch jobs and salaries is your technical skills, your soft skills, and your multicultural networks, which is why I keep hammering those things in for you ladies. Is
Excellent.
you spend those 2 years sharpening technical skills, soft skills, multicultural networks. Monkey branch, do it again, do it again. By the time you're age 30 or 28, you should be well ahead of the supermajority of Americans, no matter what race they are. Okay. So that's number 11. And number 12 is be financially literate. Be financially literate. When you are desperate financially, you tend to make bad decisions. When you are desperate financially, you tend to make bad decisions.
Okay.
So, the best thing for you to do is to be financially literate, to, while you're living at home, have some savings, grow your savings account. Get to a point where you can live. If you let's say move to an apartment that's $2,000 a month, great. Are you making enough money to be able to afford that $2,000 a month apartment
Mm.
plus all the other things you need to pay for, plus still have some cushion in order to continue to save, continue to invest, continue to do all of those things, being financially literate. The less stressed you are about money, the better decisions you will make regarding your career. A lot of people are choosing or have to, forced to take jobs in toxic corporate environments because financially they cannot afford to make a move. Which goes back to my number 8, don't get pregnant, don't get pregnant, don't get pregnant. Because if you're not pregnant, if you don't have kids, honestly, you could get into a corporate environment. You could have moved out, get into a bad corporate environment and be like, Mom, I need to come back home. It's just you. Dad, I need to come back home. Victoria, I need to sleep on your couch for 3 months while I, you know, and Victoria is more likely to say yes because it's just you. The minute you have
Yeah.
kids, well, depending, I'm just saying it overall,
I know if you
right?
had kids, I would take you too, but we gonna have a contract.
Yeah. So this is why I am like hitting the hammer on don't get pregnant because it lessens the amount of options you have. But if you're financially literate and if you don't have children, and obviously if you're not running behind somebody calls it a nignog, um,
Ooh, what is that? No, you can't say that and just move on, ma'am. What is that? My viewers are watching too. Clarify. I ain't never used that verbiage on my channel. What are you saying? Let me look
um,
this way. What are you saying?
I am saying if you are dating somebody, like he
Because
should be
the
equally
words,
yoked.
girl.
He should be equally yoked. That's all I'm saying. He should be
Okay.
equally yoked. And
You're not going to be on somebody that's
the,
productive.
the term I heard on another channel was
Look, Carla J. She got them question marks, girl. I'm sorry. You gonna have to explain yourself on this one,
the
baby
question marks, but that's
girl.
fine. Listen, and here's the thing: smart, upwardly mobile men, smart, upwardly mobile black men, they understand what I'm talking about too. Yes, I said it. Yes, I said it. So, um, with that, ladies, I said get a career coach and invest in your career, invest in your physical appearance, monkey branch every 2 years, and be financially literate. Would either of you like to talk about any of those four?
I'm sorry, what was that word again?
Nignog.
Girl, I ain't gonna say it out loud. You know what I'm saying? I'm streaming to my audience. I ain't saying that.
I'm going to make the assumption that this is an unproductive person. That's as much as I
Absolutely.
can gather from the word.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to be chasing behind nobody that's unproductive. Man, woman, beast, animal, or thing. It don't matter because you're about being productive anyway. I completely agree. Oh, becoming financially literate is absolutely crucial to your economic future. That's a requirement. So that's to be expected. Um, and number 8, I'm in full agreement with you there. If you're a woman and if you're a young man, please do not impregnate anybody until you are fully ready to handle that responsibility. And I don't mean because you have the scientific ability to do so. I mean you're economically ready. You have a place of your own. You're able to house yourself and other humans before you decide to create one. So, all of what she has advised is not just for upwardly mobile Black women, but upwardly mobile people that want to take their career from step 1 to step 20 and have the best trajectory without a lot of obstacles and taking on additional responsibility. There's some people that are in my case where you have parents living with you, um, and if they're elderly and they have illnesses where it takes a little additional time, money, and resources, then that's also going to be something you can't necessarily avoid. That you got to take care of your parents, but taking on additional responsibility is not going to make that trajectory easy, but it is necessary to do so. Outside of that, Yeah, making sure that you're surrounding yourself with people, with resources, with a network, um, putting yourself in the right places, in associations within your industry, within your field, so that you can monkey branch in a year or two. Asking for making sure that you're requesting um, additional education, either credits or you're taking additional classes online or offline, making sure that you're taking on, more profitable, more promotable tasks. Whether they promote you at that job or not, you're going to promote yourself because you have a career strategy to do so, right? You have a career strategy to do so. And okay, so okay, you asked about this and they said, well, we'll look into it, whatever. They may have said no. So here's what you do. You make sure you have your documentation for all the projects you're working on that goes into your professional portfolio. I do have a live stream in a couple of days talking about that very thing. You're going to use those pieces of all of the extra projects you've done at work that is going to speak to your professional experience, that is going to quantify the experience and the additional skills you have, so that when you are interviewing for those jobs in a year or two, oh, here's my show and tell piece. I was talking, you wanted to know if I was able to do XYZ. Here's an example of I created an SOP that saved the company $50,000 in a 2-month time span because I did XYZ, and you have your show and tell piece. That's how all of this works together. It's not just ask for money to learn something new. No, it's to ask for the budget to learn something new, to implement something new. And if that job don't value it, then the other one will. If you were on my live stream on Wednesday, you guys learned that what that was a key moment. The company refused to pay, or they claimed they were going to pay this person $40,000 raise verbally, but the employee was silly enough not to document it. He took on 2 engineering jobs instead of 1 because one had to leave. And instead of this CEO operate from an integral place, he said, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not going to give you a raise, and I can find you a replacement in 2 weeks. The employee said, bet. I got you. So he left in 2 weeks. And in his letter, his resignation, I said, well, you said you could replace me in 2 weeks, so here's enough time. I'm out. You see that $40,000 that he had asked that current employer for? He ended up getting it with the other employer. And guess what? That wonderful non-integral CEO ended up paying for his negligence and not valuing the human resource he had in-house. $500,000, and a year later, he was still trying to replace that employee.
Wow.
So do not think for 1 second that you are not valuable in the marketplace. And don't
Talk about that for a second, because a lot of people don't realize how much it costs an employer to replace you. They'd rather keep you there, and they are willing to, as long as you know how to negotiate your salary appropriately,
Correct.
and they have to believe that you really can go and get something else. Like, there are a whole lot of people who will pretend like, oh, I'm gonna leave, and the person's like, yeah, right,
Crying
but if
wolf.
they're crying wolf, exactly. But if I know, hey, she's been networking out there, and she's top 10% of skills, and she's got the soft skills, and she's got people in her phone, oops, and you're like this, in her phone, she can call, and she'll have another job in a week. Like, your boss knows if you're that chick. Your boss knows that you are that chick that's like, I will relate it to a man then. That is like, there are some men that
Right.
know that you are that chick that can get another man and will leave him, drop him, share a 7 style, right? Like, no, I don't need you. I'll go get somebody else, right? Yes, they know that. So, Denise, you said I need an explanation. Girl, you need an explanation about knickknacks or what? I'm like, I was trying to figure out what you said. I need an explanation. Somebody else said here. Carla was saying I was multitasking, and that word got all my attention. Was that my knickknack? That wasn't mine. That was another YouTuber that used that word.
Mhm.
However, it is an accurate explanation, and you all know exactly what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking
A
about.
non-productive person. That's as much as we're going to say. Let's go.
Yeah,
Was she
yeah,
explaining the knick-knock
the
thing?
knick-knack,
Mhm.
yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. You all know what I'm talking about. NC Worker said, "You mean to tell me I can't have an impregnated village?" Well, look, sir,
No,
you
no,
you
sir.
can,
You
sir,
can't.
you can have one, just like I 15 years ago could have a village. Yes. However, if you want to be upwardly mobile, it's best for you not to.
Do anything you want. You can.
Have you all heard about this crazy family called the Resilient Jenkins on TikTok?
Uh-uh.
Boy,
What's
Y'all
the
none.
put a
story?
I put a one in the chat if like for all my people in the chat, put a one in the chat if you've heard of this Resilient Jenkins family. So apparently there's this family on TikTok, and I hate to bring it up like this, but it's a white girl with a black boyfriend. I don't know if it's boyfriend or husband. I'm not really sure. You all can tell me. Um, but they have 6 kids and a seventh one on the way. They live in a one-bedroom apartment. The
I think you're.
um, boyfriend, it's either boyfriend or husband. I couldn't really figure out if he was legally her husband or not.
Sounds like boyfriend behavior.
Um,
Go
they were
ahead.
staying, like the parents were staying in the bedroom, and the kids were sleeping in the living room and in the kitchen, in the dining room. And I mean, it's like this whole, I've seen like 3 or 4 people on YouTube talking about this family, and the boyfriend, husband, refuses to get a W-2 job because he
Okay.
owes child support. So I know, I know. KB is saying, unfortunately, I have. So, and this all, of course, all came out like over time. So she's virtual panhandling, in my opinion. She's asking for donations, right? Like Dr. Umar, run me those donations. And people are like, why are you having more kids when you can't afford the kids that you have? Now, she had 2 kids when they met, and he had one, but apparently he had one that lived with him, but apparently he had another kid that's still with the first baby mama, I guess. And that baby mama has him on child support, but he's not paying child support because he refuses to get a W-2 job. So,
I'm
and
not
and
laughing because it's funny. I'm trying not to cry. Go ahead.
it's just, and then, like, to make matters worse, in their bedroom, it's like this huge, of course, TV with the PlayStation and all of that stuff. And it's just a mess. It's just, and I forgot why I was bringing it up, except, oh, because of the village thing. That, having a village, impregnated village. Um, not if you're trying to be upwardly mobile. Not if. Unless you are already a man who has, like, I had a boss once. He was Catholic, but he was rich, and his wife had 6 kids. They didn't believe in birth control, but he had money to afford those kids. So, but yeah, I think you all are saying that you have heard heard of those. Carl is saying 6 kids in one bedroom apartment. That's insane. Totally illegal. It's not
It
illegal.
is.
It's
It's illegal for the landlord to do that
I
in
was
certain
wondering about the
cities.
landlord. I was
It
wondering about
is.
the landlord, but
Yeah.
it I don't. Well,
It
I
depends on
can't
the
say.
jurisdiction. If the
Okay.
city allows it, it's a housing
Hmm.
regulation thing.
Yeah. I don't see how they're getting away with it.
Yeah.
My friend got 0.09 cents, 9 cents from child support because her ex-workers attempt gig for one day. Nine. You might as well have kept that 9 cents. I mean, sir. That's so common. Men refusing to get jobs because they don't want to pay child support. Unfortunately,
Yes.
it is. That's why
Yes.
I say the father of your children is the most important financial decision you will ever make. I'm waiting on somebody to come with like a real reason why it's not, but
Mm-hmm.
nobody's done it yet. It's worse when they get paid in real cash like a barber. They can just say, well, so that's what this guy is
Yup.
doing. But his issue is that he then he'll people will say, why don't you start this kind of business, that kind of business? Well, I don't want to do that. I don't want to work that hard, et cetera, et cetera. But then this woman is on TikTok virtual panhandling. I want to do uh, a live stream at some point about these virtual panhandlers. And these people are basically, um, they tug at your heartstrings and they're full of crap. They're full of crap. Purple Rain says some people only get $20. I think I
Yes.
told you ladies, so I told y'all I was a bookkeeper before. One of the clients that I had, one of his employees was paying $25 a month in child support. I was like, what is she supposed to do with that? 25 dollars a month. So I've seen it. Um, Texas is 2,300 per kid. They cap it. Okay, 2,300 per child per month. I'm like, if you're getting 2,300 per child per month, obviously if he's like, Elon Musk or something like that, that's one thing. But I'm not as worried about that. I'm more worried about the $20.09. You can't do anything with that. You can't. So yeah, so that's all I want to talk about with regard to that. But Victoria, I don't think I got to pass it over to you. So we talked
Mm-hmm.
about getting a career coach. That's number 9. Get a career coach, invest
Mm-hmm.
in your career. Number 10, invest in your physical appearance. Number
Oh, invest in
11 is monkey branch every 2 years. So leave either your job or you have to get a promotion every 2 years. And then number 12 is be financially literate. I know you got something to say about those things, any of them.
I did for each thing. Number 9, obviously, I agree with that. I've been going online every Friday night with my friend here, mentor Shelly, really in an effort to show people you gotta focus on the career. I understand we all want to be content creators. I understand we all want to wake up and have a full bank account for just being ourselves. The only person that's going to give you props for being you is your mom and dad. And the only reason they do that is because they created you. That's literally it. Like, it's not based on who you are. I'm sorry. Like, I'm gonna leave it at that, baby. That's it. You're special because you came out of your mama. That's it. But okay. So get a career coach, because at the end of the day, if you don't have an objective person that can give you that guidance, you're going to be making so many missteps like I did. You're going to go into, from the post office to customer service, from customer service to property management to compliance, and blah, 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 blah. If I could go back, I would have never did any of that. I would have just jumped into something that was more of dare I say, a passion pursuit, because I'm an Angelino, so I know that's the issue that I have. But I would have went into something else, and you would have seen my face way sooner. I'll say that. So get the career coach, because that's an investment in your future, whether you believe it or not. Paying Mentor Shelley or someone like her, whatever they charge, is a blip in the a flash in the pan, rather, compared to what you're going to make per year and every year after that. Is such a small contribution to your future. So that's what I'm gonna say with that. Get a career coach. They see things you can't. Ooh, number 10, girl, that was a hot button because that made my little heart do a little flutter. Because I would be lying if I said I get treated the same braided versus natural twisted hair versus straight hair. I would be lying because a lot of it with the looks in the corporate atmosphere anyway is that the less people have to do to take you in visibly, the better off you'll be. I mentioned last night when we did the Candace Owens clip, Candace has straightened her hair. Candace is not doing that busted pullback, whatever she used to do. She's not doing that anymore because she understands. Right. Mm-hmm. She understands because Black girls, we all saw it. We were all like, girl, get your hair done. Ooh. But everybody else on the other side, they don't know because they don't know us. So they don't know that was a busted hairstyle. Right. Shout out to Candace. But the thing is, she needed to brush up a little bit. No pun intended. If I want to walk into certain rooms, I'm sorry, this pattern, this cut, tattered shirt, titties hanging out, I'm going to say it, even a red lip, even a cat eyeliner, it ain't going to work. When I walked into that business club every night, I didn't look like this. There was a dress code, baby. That was my time to shine. I learned how to dress going to that club, okay? Because they were like, you got blue jeans, you can't come in. Yeah, we know you pay to be here, but you can't come in. Why? Because there's judges. There's Hollywood people in there. There are people that go in there to network and to go in there and get hammered. And can't nobody say nothing because it's a members only thing. You can't film nobody. You can't do none of that. You got to pay for that. So looks do matter. Also, I know that it sucks because I'm actually a victim of this, not a victim, but I'm feeling the brunt of this. Not only romantically, friendships, whatever, if you really do pay attention, sometimes how we take care of ourselves says a lot about who we are. And it says a lot about, or people assume that it says a lot about how we conduct ourselves. And that's about as far into that as I'm going to go, only because I have experienced it. And I know that I have missed opportunities because maybe I'm 50 pounds too heavy. Maybe my skin color is not correct. Maybe the girls in the crew don't wear makeup and I do, or vice versa. So I'm already pigeonholed. I like jeans. I like stretch pants, but corporate America doesn't. The person that's going to get me the news article or the spot on the news, it's not going to fly. So it is not their job. Like if, how do I say it to be a little softer here? If I'm walking around so, okay, all right, I'm going to say it. If I'm walking around, and I know this because I lived in Hollywood. So y'all, I'm not just pulling this out of my butt. Okay. When I lived in Hollywood, there was a time where I was trying out for a TV show. And you want to know the first thing the guy said to me? He said, "Oh, you could be our sassy Black girl." Excuse me? Bro, this is my life. Like, I'm not a sassy Black girl. Now I became one, but I was not a sassy Black girl at that time. And I looked at him and I thought in my head, like, oh my God, this is really how they see us. And if I come in here and I want to book this gig, I have to follow suit with that. I have to follow suit with what people assume about us. I have to, right? So needless to say, that didn't work out, but I've been pigeonholed quite a bit. And I don't want to admit that, but that is the truth. I don't know how many women you've seen with the kinky hair thing going on that didn't at least first have to have straight hair. I don't know how many you've seen like that. Maybe you've seen more than I have. Exposure matters. But
let me. Oh,
no, go ahead.
Okay, I want to show something here, and I'm sure Mentor Shelley has probably seen this.
And it make my chest hot just talking like this, y'all, because I don't agree, but it is what it is.
Mentor Shelley, did you see this? This is a young lady who went to a job interview dressed like this. And then she got on TikTok and talked about the fact that the woman who was interviewing her said, "Young lady, would you like to go home and change?" She went to a job interview in shorts. This is what she had on. And the young lady said, "No, that's okay. I'm fine."
Mm-mm.
As Victoria was talking, it sparked something in me. Oftentimes, and I bet you it was a Gen X Black woman who was trying to say to this young Gen Z Black woman, "You need to go home and change." But she wasn't picking up, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
90% of the time, people will not tell you what you're doing wrong. They will just send you a denial letter, which is also why it's important for you to invest in someone like Mentor Shelley. Or unless you have like a mother like mine who is like, "No, you're not wearing that. No, you're not doing that." My mother harped on me, like, "If you want more opportunities, I know, the Crown Act is out and all of that. I'm telling you like it is. All right. No, if you want to like start from the bottom and get to a certain part of corporate ladder, you'll do better with your hair being straightened or wearing a wig or something like that." I know that it is controversial to say, but we might as well say it while we're here.
You're right.
Okay? This young lady was not appropriately dressed for work at all, right? Much
Right.
less a job interview. And because of that, y'all know how I feel about racism, white supremacy. But we would have somebody saying it's racism, white supremacy, and it's not. It's that you did not invest in your physical appearance.
That's facts.
Your physical appearance is as important as you getting those technical skills, because your physical appearance, as Victoria is saying, determines whether or not you will fit into that corporate culture. And that's one of the things that I'm trying to impress upon all of my young, upwardly mobile Black women. Otherwise, you will get pigeonholed as a sassy Black girl, which means that you will get pigeonholed into certain types of jobs, or you'll only get to a certain level in the corporate, in your corporate organization, and you can't go any higher. And you're wondering why
Oh
you're
man.
being, what do you call it, shut out of certain jobs and certain opportunities.
You are not lying. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I
So as you were talking, I thought about that young lady, and I wanted to make sure to show that. And at some point, I'm
yeah.
sure Mentor Shelley, had you seen that? Had you seen that young lady? Okay. You might want to cover that on your channel.
I'm gonna have to because Gen. I'm
Yeah.
not. The thing of it is, I'm part of the Gen X crew. We know better. Our parents kind of prepared us in a sense. You can't go out there looking any old kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you're familiar with that statement. Some of the older millennials, the same. Now, depending on what in Jamaica they say brought up, see, or your upbringing, depending on your upbringing, you may or may not know any better. You may not have been taught. But if you're interested in improving and in carrying yourself with some level of decorum, the same phones that you stay on TikTok all day on, how do you dress to go on a job interview? I'm sure Pinterest will be helpful, YouTube will be helpful,
Mm-hmm.
and Instagram will be helpful in providing you with a pictorial depiction of how it is that you put yourself together for an interview. Shorts has never been the dress code that you go to a job interview with, even if it's in an industrial environment.
No. I do want to point out, so Purple Rain, it's like Black girls get punished just for the lack of knowledge. That's true, which is why I wanted to have this conversation. And because I had a couple of hours this evening, I pinged Mentor Shelley and Victoria because I'm like, do you want to come on as well? Yeah, nobody's going to coddle you. This is why I could be more blunt with my verbiage, but I don't. But there's a certain bluntness that I have on this channel because I want you to get it. Nobody's going to coddle you.
Nope.
If you show up,
Nope.
let me put this on
That
back up
doesn't
here.
come to you
If
either.
you
I
show
love that
up,
you're being honest.
if you show up to a job interview like this is why I believe it was an older Gen X or a baby boomer Black woman who whispered to this young lady, would you like to go home and change? Because Karen, you want to talk about Karen, but Karen is not going to give you a second chance. And
She's
then
probably
if
they're
you
probably not going to interview you.
they're not going to interview you. Or you're going out networking. You're like, why am I not? Cherie said if I networked, then people would come to me with opportunities because you're not showing that you fit into corporate culture. If you go to these networking events dressed like this young lady, unless it's, like golf course or something like that, and even on
Right.
the golf course, you got to be kind of careful, but you want to make sure that like these things are important as well. Aesthetics and the halo effect and all of that is important as well. And it's not her weight. I will say that. It's not her weight. It's the
The short.
shorts.
If she had a skirt on or pants, I wouldn't have had a problem with this outfit.
A skirt that's knee length, ladies. Knee
Oh, let me
length and
Yes.
beyond skirt.
Yes.
You're right. The proper length is important.
Proper length skirt. So, if going back to Purple Rain, because I did want to acknowledge this, lack of knowledge, nobody's going to baby you. Nobody, and when I say you, Purple Rain, I don't mean you specifically. I mean any young lady. You're not going to be babied. So it's important for you to see the three of us kind of telling you here are the ins and the outs of dealing
Mhm.
with corporate America now. So that way you're able to make it. You're able to make it.
You're
And
right.
that's all I want. All I want is to have as many upwardly mobile, young, Black women make it in corporate America.
Yeah. Thank you for
So,
speaking to that, Cherie, because I
mhm.
think you're saying something that the fact that Mentor Shelley and I have both like had a reaction to what you brought up, and I love that you did it though.
Mhm.
What I wanted to just add to wrap up, that was number 10, right?
Yeah, the physical appearance was
Okay.
number 10. Yes.
The last thing I wanted to say was that you have to remember when they say that the first impression does matter, that's not just a cliche because you have to also accept, right? We didn't say agree, I said accept that if someone already has preconceived notions about people that look like you, it's just not advantageous to play into that. And in corporate environments, I'm sorry, you have to be a little sterile sometimes, unless you are the DEI hire and they're looking for that little flavor that you
Please don't be
add.
the DEI hire. You will be the
That's what
first
I'm
fired.
saying. And I think that people are trying to go into these corporations that already have a structure. These are 100-year-old companies you're trying to go into being your modern self. And it's like, no, there are certain things that are always going to be apparent. I'm sorry, it sucks, yes, but that's even more reason for you to strike out on your own during your 5 to 9 so you can create a culture where you can be yourself. Too often we're trying to force the system to bend to our will, where sometimes the answer is to create your own system. That is the answer sometimes. I'm not going to fight for kinky hair. I'm just not going to do it. I'm going to put straightening my hair into my budget if that job is that important to me. That's what I'm going to do. And if it's not a place for me, then I'm going to go. That's what this comes down to. Now, I know obviously Mentor Shelley and Cherie can offer you different insight on that, but I've pivoted in my career to where that would never be an issue for me. But I may have missed opportunities because of it also, right? But that's all I wanted to say. You're not in control of anybody's first impression of you. If they see a woman at a certain height, certain skin color, they think certain things about you. I've been told that I'm fun. I look fun when I have my kinky fro. Sometimes they said it because it looked like I would tell a funny joke, and sometimes they said it because they were fetishizing me, and they literally meant adult fun. So since we can be real, I'm going to say it. And I knew that that was what was happening. And it was always from somebody that looked nothing like me. It was from somebody that probably looks at certain videos when the lights are off at night. But they won't tell nobody that they watched them videos. But I wanted to show this, and then I'll be quiet.
Wait. Say that with your whole chest to your face.
What's that? What?
Say that to your whole face.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that with their whole chest to your face.
Yeah, that's the wasps that Cherie's talking about. But listen, I'm going to tell you this, though. I don't care. Because I'm going to show you the business card that I post. And if you meet me, this is the one you're going to get. And I don't care what you think. And I'll show it because my information. Oh, hey, girl, my stuff is public knowledge.
I was trying.
That is the card. If you meet me at a business meeting, that's the card you're gonna get. If you assume that I'm fun because I have a curly fro, that's on you. I'm not here to make you think nothing different. Check the QR codes, baby, and you'll find out that I'm not as fun as you think I am. I'm gonna say that.
Show it again. I was trying to get you like front and center, but
I know, girl. Streamyard be tripping.
Yeah,
but that is the one. It's okay. I think it's big enough.
Yeah,
but that's the one that I show people. I've gotten so many compliments on my curly fro. Yeah, straight hair might be fun, but I'm probably never gonna do it. Just to be honest with you, that's just not my thing, and it could be impeding my money. I don't know.
My hair is straight right now. Like today, my mother was like, "Sheree, you got to get rid of the curls. You got to get," and I was like, "Okay, fine." Aww. But I honestly don't. I don't like putting that much heat in my hair. But right now, I'm in a position where I'm like, okay, I probably do have to, play the game a little bit longer. So,
depends on where you want to go. So I'm saying it because I agree with it. That's the thing. I agree begrudgingly that looks matter. We can say whatever we want, but we are not in control of how other people see us. The halo effect is real. Why do you think Beyonce could say and do whatever the hell she wants on her internet and nobody says anything? Mm-hmm. Her looks are part of it. Mm-hmm. If I was up there doing what Beyonce does, y'all would have smacked me down 20 years ago. But I just wanted to finish out. So every 2 years, Max, the thing you said, monkey branching, yes, but that's in everything. That's jobs, careers, friendships. You need to monkey branch. That's how you build your network. That's how you have friends everywhere that you've ever traveled before to where you can go back because you're monkey branched. And then being financially literate, yes, that has to do with credit. It has to do with the career choices that you make, which Mentor Shelley has that on lock. It has to do with the loan options that you choose, which Cherie can help you with, because how you purchase your house could affect you in a few years too.
Certainly can.
So that was all the input I had, but the looks thing, girl, you got me on that one. I didn't mean to have such a response, but you struck a nerve, girl.
But it's the truth. It's the truth. So
you're right.
Obviously, so this whole thing started off because I received an email from a young man who went to my alma mater, and he asked me for career advice. Obviously, I didn't give him all of this career advice because some of it is related to us as women. Some of it is us being Black women, in corporate America, etc. But I wrote these. The information I gave him, I was like, this is pretty good. So I took it, I expounded on it, and we actually ended up with 12 pieces of advice. So I'm going to repeat them really quickly, and then I'll let you two ladies say any final comments. Mentor Shelley, make sure you're able to promote your book and anything else you have, especially. But here are the 12 pieces of advice. And again, number 8, to me, very important. Okay. Number 1, It's okay to not know exactly what you want to do at 17, 18, 19, 20, 22 years old. It's fine. Okay. Number two, you want to try different things, and in order to do that, you may need to live at home longer. As long as mom and dad know that you have a plan, you are going to get up, you're going to go to a job every day, and then you may do something that's a 5 to 9. I am not a fan of Grubhub and all of that for my young ladies. I'd rather you do something online for your 5 to 9, being safe, but
Yep.
just make sure, that you have expressed to mom and dad what your plan is. And for the most part, mom and dad will let you stay at home a few additional years while you try different things, try different jobs and positions in order to figure out what you want to do. So that's number two. Number three, you want to get into a field with a 90% employment rate where you can get into the top 10% of that industry. So you want to find an industry that you're talented in, that also has a high employment rate for the people that do that industry. So accounting, actuarial sciences, nursing, any kind of medical, technology. Tam from Women Analytics could talk about all sorts of tech you can get into, sales, etc. So there's a lot of different industries you can get into, but you want something where there's high employment and that you have enough natural skills in that with training you can get to the top 10% of skills. So that's number three. Number four, focus on training more than money. Focus on training more than money. So if you have two jobs, one job is offering you $80,000, the other one's offering you $65,000, but they've got a great training program. As a young person, take the 65,000 and take the great training program. Okay? Because that great training program is going to get you those skills that you need. And then you will, within 3 to 5 years, be making $100,000 plus with those technical skills. Okay. Number five, think about working at a small company versus a medium-sized company versus a large company. The difference between a large company and a small company or a startup is, in startups and small companies, you will get to do a lot of different things. They will give you assignments that are 2 to 3 times higher level than your entry level job. So you'll get a lot of experiences. At big companies, you're typically siloed to doing the specific thing that they hired you for. So that's number five. Number six, corporate culture matters more than money. Corporate culture matters more than money. You hear about people talking about they work in a toxic work environment. That is because that corporate culture is toxic. It is better for you to get the $65,000 job with the great training in a really good corporate environment than $80,000 job and you're miserable because the people suck. Okay? That's number six. Number seven, network once a week. Understand as you're networking that people are watching you. They're watching you from the time you drive into the parking lot to the time that you walk into the building. You're networking, you want to smile, no resting bitch face, all of that. You're there to network, not net eat, not net sit, not net stand on the wall. You're there to network. Okay. Also, yes, I said it. As you're driving into the parking lot, turn the trap music off. I don't care if it's Kanye, I don't care who it is, turn the music off because people are watching you from the time you drive into the parking lot to the time you leave. Okay, that's number seven. Number eight, don't get pregnant, don't get pregnant, don't get pregnant. Number nine, get a career coach, invest in your career at least once a quarter with someone like Mentor Shelley, where you're talking about what you're going to be doing, what you have done over the past quarter, what kind of promotable tasks you've gotten, what you're going to be doing over the next quarter, the next 2 to 5 years, how you're going to monkey branch. Do you need to negotiate your salary? All of those things. Invest, invest, invest in a career coach. Number 10, invest in your physical appearance. Number 11,
Mhm.
you want to monkey branch every 2 years. Either you are monkey branching to a new job, which will automatically come with a pay increase, or if you're working in the same job, you should be getting a promotion and a sizable pay increase every 2 years.
Mhm.
Every 2 years. And number 12, be financially literate. The more desperate you are when it comes to money, the worse the decisions you're going to make. So if you live at home and you live on a budget and you invest in Mentor Shelley and you go out, you have, nachos with friends and things like that, but you actually live on a really good budget, you are going to be able to make better, more strategic career decisions because you're not desperate for money. So those are my 12 pieces of advice. Um, Tam is saying, I consider them all toxic. Get your money before you sign the document. You, you consider all work environments toxic, Tam?
Well, they are by nature because you're making the people at the top rich. That's all you're doing by selling your life away. It sucks, but that's what we do every day. We sell. Let me finish, Patricia. We do sell our time for money. That is why we go to work. All right, what were you gonna say?
We're not
Hey, your
selling
time
our
is your
lives
life.
away. We are exchanging our skills for a specific dollar amount based on what we agree upon for a specific period of time. The only people sometimes they may set the period of time, and sometimes you set the period of time. You're not
I
gonna be there forever.
mean, I feel you. I think
and
it's tomato
and
tomato, but I feel you.
and if you're putting money into a 401k, you're investing properly, you're buying your own home, maybe you're buying a couple of rental properties, etc. That job can make you rich. That job can make you rich. So, um, just my thought. All right. Um, Mentor Shelley, what are your thoughts? Again, anything you want to tell the family with regards to your book, anything like that? Final comments.
We are talking to young ladies today, and I want to make sure the young ladies have what they need to get started in their career off on the right foot, along with these 12 steps to changing their career trajectory and their economic life. I do have a book, mentorshelley.com/book, where they can pick up a copy of From Clueless Teenager to Consummate Professional, 7 Steps to Getting the Career and the Economic Life You Want. They can also complete either they go with consultations that I have available for career strategy, especially when you talk about monkey branching and things of that nature. We definitely schedule that with me at mentorshelley.com/consultations. And if you're looking for general career advice, I do have my YouTube channel, which they have specified earlier in this whole video. And the ladies of this panel, I am very honored and privileged to be up here to help carry the discussion along. And at the end of the day, we become better professionals when we not only plan, but carry out those plans in the job and in the marketplace, whether we end up staying in the job and marketplace or we end up creating enterprises of our own. Back to you, Sheree.
Perfect. Victoria?
Yeah, girl. Look, I'm just trying to get back into the swing of this whole social media thing because your girl be tired. But look, what I was gonna say, you really brought a lot of great points like home tonight, and I mean, you said some things that I didn't even really consider in my life and how I'm running things right now. And maybe I have to go back to the drawing board about certain things. I think going forward, what I can recommend for everybody is just figure out what it is that you want out of your life and figure out the path you have to take to get there. There are going to be some roadblocks. You will have to conform in certain areas because if you live on earth, you're going to have to do that. Okay. But none of us know what goes on when you go to sleep at night or right before you go. Your dreams are going to be very different than mine. My mission when I got here is very different from yours. We're crossing paths with certain people, organizations, whatever, so we can get to that next step to get closer to that thing that we came here to do. That's the most that I can say about that. As far as what I am offering, I haven't posted it yet, but I'll be offering 30-minute consultations probably from now until I'm not sure when, but when the links are there over at mycreditcall.com, please be sure to book because you guys already know I am not cheap. I do not sell my service for cheap because when we go into those calls, I'm giving you a piece of me. I'm giving you part of my life force, time that I cannot get back and time that is going to change the trajectory of your life. So there is a premium for that, but I will be given a discounted rate. And again, I don't know how long it's going to be. Second thing, we started posting products onto the website. So if you are not able to book a consultation, you can actually download the 90-day rapid repair mini ebook that we've revamped and brought back to the public. So check that out. Also, the bankruptcy breakthrough is another ebook that we have that's linked in the description if you're checking out this live stream from my YouTube channel, The Credit Solutionist. But yeah, we've been collaborating, myself and mentor Shelly, and I'm also hoping to reach out to other creators and business owners in the next few months to come onto my channel and bring something a little bit different this year because it's not just about credit. It's about really getting your financial footprint set. And it's really about figuring out what you want to do and let's make it happen. If it's career, I got you. If it's loans, Cherie got you, you know, but I give you that particular skill set. Sorry, y'all, I got an alarm going off in my ear. But we give you that information, y'all. I don't know where the alarm's coming from. Only I can hear it, I think. I'm sorry, y'all. That's why I'm kind of zoning out, but I'll figure it out.
Yeah, we don't hear it.
But yeah, no, I got it. I found it, y'all. But yeah, that's what we're offering. So be sure to check us out from now to the end of the year and then look forward to a few more product drops with mycreditcall.com going January 1 on. All right. So it's coming, y'all.
Yeah. And I will say this as well. A lot of employers look at your credit. They look at your credit score and they look at like what kind of debt you owe if you have a whole lot of collections and things like that, which goes into my being financially literate number 12 section. So if you, are credit challenged, which look, I've been in the past, so no, I'm serious. I definitely understand that, but sometimes those things could keep you from elevating to certain levels or could keep you out of certain industries, etc. So definitely reach out to Victoria. Thank you, ladies, so much. So most of you all don't know, like at 5 o'clock, I was like, okay, I think I'll go live now. And I just texted these.
I was about to go out and spend some money. So thank you for texting me because I was about to go out and spend some money, girl.
Oh, okay. Well, no,
I was right at the doorknob.
Instead, you came here with us and we got to gossip and all of that. But
for sure.
I hope that we bless somebody tonight, hopefully somebody's, with regard to this conversation. And if there is a young lady in your life that you want to send this to, I know she'll probably say 2 hours and 30 minutes. Tell her it's going to be the 2 hours and best 2 hours, 30 minutes that she has spent in a long time. And it's going to help her really level up. So, all right, then. Thank you, everybody. I'll probably be back tomorrow night to talk about something for our Money Monday. Okay. Thank you. Take care. Good night, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.